Hello student, we are studying our course that is a physics of semiconductor devices, and in that we are studying our fourth module that is metals, insulator, semiconductor devices. And in that, in our previous video we have covered about the deflection layer of the deflection layer at the metal semiconductor contact. Now in this video we have to find the general expression for the barrier height of the metal and semiconductor. Now we know that when we brought a metal and semiconductor in contact with each other, there is a formation of the barrier, and in this video we have to find the expression for that barrier height. Now the barrier heights of a metal and semiconductor systems are in general determined by both metal work function and the interface states. We also studied about the interface states, and these interface states are formed at the metal semiconductor, or they are present at the metal semiconductor contact. But the barrier height of the metal semiconductor contact can be find out with the help of metal work function or also with the help of interface states. But for that we have to assume some assumptions or some requirements. We have some requirements, or simply we call it as assumptions. A general expression of the barrier height can be obtained based on the several assumptions as shown or as given below. First assumption is there should be interfacial layer between the metal and the semiconductor of the order of atomic dimension. We know that the atomic dimension, and we have the interfacial layer between the metal and semiconductor, but the dimension of the interfacial layer which lies in between the metal and semiconductor is in the order of atomic dimension. This is the first assumption. Second assumption is that this interfacial layer will be transparent to the electrons. That means the electrons can easily pass through that interfacial layer. Third assumption is that this interfacial layer can be withstand with a potential across it. That means there is a potential across the interfacial layer, and this interfacial layer must or should stand with that potential. So these all are the three assumptions, and last assumption is that is a fourth one. The interface states per unit area per energy at the interface are independent of metal. That means the states which are present at the interface between the metal and semiconductor, and these states are per unit area per energy, and all these states are independent of the metal. Now consider the metal and n-type semiconductor contact as shown in the figure. Various quantities are defined follows. That means in this figure there is a metal semiconductor contact, and in that figure there are different quantity which we have to study. First quantity is the Q phi 0. It is called the neutral level above which the states are acceptor type. That means Q phi 0 is the neutral level. This is called as a neutral level, and above this neutral level there are acceptor type, and below this level there are donor type. Acceptor type means neutral when empty and negatively charged when full. That means the states are empty, then there is a neutral, and if these states are full then there are negatively charged, and below the neutral level there is a donor type. That means when the type is a donor type, that is a neutral when full of electrons. That means there is a reverse condition. When the states are full of electrons, then there is a neutral, and when the states are empty, then there is a positively charged. So this is the Q phi 0, which is the neutral level above which there is acceptor type and below the donor type. Consequently, when the Fermi level at the surface coincides with the neutral level, the net interface trap charge is 0. Suppose if we have the same energy of the Fermi level and neutral level, then there is a net interface trap charge is 0. That means there is are equal and opposite charges on the Fermi level and at the neutral level, then the total interface trap charge is 0. So consequently this happens many times. It is this barrier that must be surmounted by electrons flowing from metal into semiconductor. That means the interfacial layer is formed due to the electrons which flow from the metal into the semiconductor. That means this interfacial layer acts as a barrier. The interfacial layer will be assumed to have a thickness of few angstroms and will therefore be essentially transparent to the electrons as per assumption made at the beginning only. We know that we have already considered in the assumption, that means the interfacial layer is transparent to the electron. That means the thickness of the interfacial layer is very small and which is in the order of few angstrom, so that it can easily pass the electrons. So it is a transparent to the electrons as per assumption. Consider the semiconductor with accepted traps whose density is a DIT states per centimeter square electron volt. That means if we consider the semiconductor and which has a accepted traps and the density of that accepted traps which is DIT, that means states per centimeter square electron volt. This is the density. This density is a constant over the range from Q50 plus EV to the Fermi level. We know that Q50 is the neutral level, EV is the energies corresponding to the valence band in the semiconductor. So this density, that means the density of the accepted traps which is a constant over the range from Q50 plus EV to the Fermi level. The interface trap charge density on the semiconductor, which is denoted by QSS, is therefore negative and which is given by QSS is equal to minus Q into DIT in bracket Eg minus Q50 minus Q5Bn 0, where Q50 is the energy level, that is a neutral level, Q5Bn 0 is the barrier height, Q into or DIT is the accepted traps density, Eg is the band gap and QSS is the interface trap charge density. So from all these quantities we can write interface trap charge density on the semiconductor. So from figure we have this figure. This is the detailed energy band diagram of metal and semiconductor and n-type semiconductor generally. The left hand side is for the metal and right hand side for the semiconductor. There is a formation of the trap charge density, that is a QSS, which is shown in the figure, and the QSS is the energy difference. That means if we multiply by Q into DIT by the energy difference, that means Eg minus, or we can subtract the Q50 and Q5Bn 0 from the Eg, then we get QSS, which is shown in the figure. That is the part which is shown in below the Fermi level of the semiconductor. That is there is and above the Q50, that is above the neutral level, there is a QSS, and this QSS we can write Eg minus Q50 minus Q5Bn 0 into multiply by Q DIT, which is a density, that is a density of charge, density of trap charges. So in this way we get this from the figure, and where in the figure there are different parameters. That is, first is the phi m, that is a work function of metal and which is shown in the left hand side in the figure, that is a Q phi m, and here phi m is the work function of metal. Phi Bn 0, that is which is shown in the figure, phi Bn 0, which is the barrier height without image force lowering. That means this is the barrier height after the transformation of electron from semiconductor to metal. Phi 0 is the neutral level, as already we mentioned, above the EV, and which is present above the EV, that is which is shown in the figure. Above the EV there is a Q phi 0, and which is the neutral level of the interface states. Delta is the potential across the interfacial layer. That means delta is the potential across the interfacial layer, which is shown in the figure, that is a Q delta, which is the potential. Simply delta is the potential across interfacial layer. Chi is the electron affinity of the semiconductor, as already we discussed in our previous videos also. Q chi, here Q chi, or simply for the chi we can call electron affinity, which is the energy difference between the, which is shown in the figure. Phi Bi is the built-in potential, that means there is a generation of the built-in voltage due to the barrier height or due to the deflection layer. Delta is the thickness of the interfacial layer, that means there is a formation of the interfacial layer at the metal semiconductor interface, and which is denoted by delta. QSC is the space charge density in the semiconductor, as already we mentioned it in our previous video, that is a QSC, space charge density in the semiconductor. And QSS is the interface trap charge, that means the total charge which is trapped into the interface of the metal and semiconductor, which is denoted by QSS, and we write the equation for QSS in our previous slide. QM is the surface charge density on the metal. DIT is the interface charge density. Epsilon I is the permittivity of interfacial layer, and which is in a vacuum. And epsilon is the permittivity of the semiconductor, and which is a constant for the particular semiconductor. So all these quantity which are shown in the figure or in the graph. Now the quantity, that is Eg minus Q phi 0 minus Q phi Bn 0, as already we mentioned it in our previous slide. From this, that is Eg minus Q phi 0 minus Q phi Bn 0. This quantity is simply the energy difference between the Fermi level at the surface and the neutral level. That means this energy is just energy difference, not any special quantity, but just energy difference. And this energy difference which is in between the Fermi level at the surface and the neutral level, as already we mentioned in the graph. The interface trap density, that is a DIT, times this quantity yield the number of states above the neutral level that are full. We already mentioned the neutral level, which is shown in the graph, and above the neutral level there is a presence of QSS, that is a QSS is nothing but the interface trap charge, and here we have the interface trap density, that is DIT. When we multiply by DIT by the number of states above the neutral level that are full, then we get the total space charge. So in this way we get the total space charge. The space charge that forms in the deflection layer of the semiconductor at thermal equilibrium is given below. That means the total phase charge due to formation of the deflection layer at the semiconductor at the equilibrium, and which is simply denoted by QSC, and which is the already we mentioned in our previous video, that is Q into Nd into Wd, that is a multiplication of these three quantities, that is a donor charge density, deflection layer width, and the charge. When we multiply all those three quantities, then we get the space charge or the total space charge on the metal. Again we have the expression for the Wd, that is a Wd is equal to square root of 2 epsilon s divided by Q Nd into phi Bn0 minus phi n minus Kt by Q. Here in our previous video we have taken, that is a phi Bi. This is the built-in potential, but in this video we have, or in this diagram we denoted by the, or we denote the built-in potential by phi Bn0. So here only phi Bn0, the respective changes is here. So after substituting the value of Wd, we get the equation, that is a Qnd into square root of 2 epsilon s divided by Qnd into phi Bn0 minus phi n minus Kt by Q. So this is the required equation for the QSC, that is for the space charge. And after simplifying this equation, that is simply we can write Qnd like a square root of Qnd into square root of Qnd. 1 square root of Qnd, 1 square root of Qnd is get cancelled with each other, and we left with only equation, that is a square root of Qnd 2 epsilon s into phi Bn0 minus phi n minus Kt by Q. So this is the required equation for the space charge. Now after that we have to calculate the total space charge density or the total equivalent space charge density on the semiconductor surface. But when we are able to calculate this, when we have the space charge density and the interface charge density, and already we mentioned the space charge density and interface charge density in our previous slide. So the total equivalent surface charge density on the semiconductor surface is due to interface charge density and the space charge density, and is given by, that is a QM is the equivalent surface charge density, which is nothing but the addition of the interface charge density and the space charge density, where space charge density is the QSC and interface charge density is a QSS, and the negative sign is there mainly due to concept of mirror charge developed at the metal surface. We know that there is a formation of the image charge at the metal surface, so there is a negative sign. The potential delta across the interfacial layer can be obtained by applying Gauss law to the surface charge on the metal and semiconductor, and which is given by, already we mentioned in the graph, there is a delta, that is a potential which develop across the interfacial layer, and the interfacial layer is formed at the metal semiconductor contact, and we can write the equation for the interfacial layer potential, and this can be obtained by using the Gauss law. So which is given by delta is equal to minus delta QM divided by epsilon I, where QM is the total equivalent surface charge density, delta is the interfacial layer width, and epsilon I is the permittivity of the semiconductor. So this is the relationship between the delta QM and epsilon I, where epsilon I be the permittivity of interfacial layer and delta be the thickness of the interfacial layer. Similarly, delta can be obtained by using the energy band diagram as follows. That means from the energy band diagram, that is from this graph, we can write equation for delta Q, that is for simply only delta, that is delta is equal to phi m minus chi plus phi bn0. That means if we subtract the chi and phi bn0 from the phi m, then we get the equation for delta from the graph. You can verify this from the graph. So we get the value of delta like in this way, and above we get the value of delta from the Gauss law. Then we equate these two values for the delta, then we get delta is equal to phi m minus in bracket chi minus phi bn0, which is equal to delta qm divided by epsilon I. We equated these two quantities for the delta, then we get this equation. Again we have the value of qm, that is we know that qm is the addition of qss and qsc with the negative sign. Here we substitute the value of qm, that is for the qss and qsc. Again we have the value of qss and qsc. QSS is the from this equation, that is from this equation this is the value of QSS, and also we have the value of QSC from this equation, that is a QSC. Then after substituting the value of QSC and QSS in the QM, and again substitute the value of QM in the delta equation, that is a delta QM divided by epsilon I. So we get the equation like square root of QND divided by 2 epsilon s into delta square divided by epsilon I square in bracket phi bn0 minus phi n minus kt by q minus, this is the value of QSC, and this value is a positive because we have already negative sign in the QM equation, and the second term is for the QSS, and the value of QSS is known, that is a dit into q into Eg minus q phi 0 minus q phi bn 0, and the delta upon epsilon I is the multiplied term which is as it is. So we get this term. Now in this term we have to consider some constant, that is a C1, and which is for q and d 2 epsilon s delta square divided by epsilon I square. So consider for the value of C1. After substituting this value of C1, we get the equation, that is a delta is equal to phi m minus in bracket chi minus phi bn 0, which is equal to delta qm divided by epsilon I, which is equal to the value of C1, that is the square root of C1 into phi bn 0 minus phi n minus kt by q, and the second term which is remaining as it is, that is a minus q dit into delta divided by epsilon I into whole bracket eg minus q phi 0 minus q phi bn 0. Now by solving the above equation, that means by rearranging the term, the second term which is on the RHS, if we take this second term towards the left hand side, then at the left hand side this term becomes positive, that is delta plus q dit delta divided by epsilon I into eg minus q phi 0 minus q phi bn 0, and the first term on the right hand side which is as it is, that is a square root of C1 phi bn 0 minus phi n minus kt by q. Now on squaring on both sides, then we get delta plus q dit delta divided by epsilon I into eg minus q phi 0 minus q phi bn 0 whole bracket square, which is equal to C1 into phi bn 0 minus phi n minus kt by q. In the right hand side square and square root get cancelled, then we left with this term. So this is the required equation. From this equation we are able to calculate the barrier height. So from this we can obtain the expression for the barrier height. So in this way we have derived the expression for the barrier height, and this is the barrier height which is formed at the metal semiconductor junction. So in this way we have covered all part about the metal semiconductor contact. Now in our next video we will start with the new topic.